Good day, everybody. So it's the 11th of May and big day today. It's GUGG finally approaching, but he's not going to arrive today. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but you can see he's well and truly on the last leg into Les Sables d'Olonne, and Jeremy down the bottom here is going to have some frustrating days for sure. He's now heading towards New York, and I think he'll turn around eventually. So we can talk about that. But just before we do, some sort of interesting announcements of everything associated with the prize giving here in Les Sables d'Olonne. There is strong interest from a lot of people from overseas and Europe. They all want to come in and celebrate everything about the GGR. And it's going to be a pretty impressive weekend by the look of it. Les Sables d'Olonne are putting on a sort of like a maritime festival. There'll be lots of other things, all based on the water, not all GGR things, but just generally maritime associated bits that weekend. It's the 24th and 25th of June, not the 21st that I said the other day. Generally, it's going to go something like this, that all the entrants will arrive in time for some internal activities that we do for Friday, which includes a closed door debrief on the event and everything that happened. And then we have our own in-house dinner that night, celebration from GGR about the race and so on. And then on Saturday morning, there'll be a press conference, which isn't open to the public, but there's a press conference and you'll hear all about it. It's the first time all the entrants have assembled since the start, and that's going to be quite important. And then we're trying to get something up. The reality is that it looks like there'll be 8 or 9 of the GGR boats on the Vendée Marina, just out the front of our office here. So if you're coming, you'll be able to wander down and have a look at the boats. And the entrants themselves don't know this yet, but I'm telling you early because we're going to ask them all that have got their boats here to be on board their boats between 2:30 in the afternoon and 4:30 in the afternoon. So there'll be a couple of hours of entrants being on the boat. They'll all have posters. They can sign the posters and give them away, and a few other bits. So that's the key moment to come and meet your own heroes, on the boats. And even the ones that don't have their boats there, we're going to ask them to hang out on the marina and maybe sit on their mates' boats, and they'll be able to chat and so on. So let's wait and see. They've all got things to do, but I think generally there'll be a bunch of entrants that are down there ready to meet, but I haven't asked them yet. That's happening, and we'll send the message out today, and we'll see what happens. But certainly, it'll be a chance to get up close and personal with them. Then the prize giving itself is going to be early evening, around 7 o'clock. I'm not sure the exact time yet, and it's a big public affair, huge stage. There's concerts going to happen right through to midnight and so on. There's a couple of one big band. I won't say too much about it because Les Sables d'Olonne will make announcements on that, but it's very impressive, very impressive. So there'll be thousands of people that'll attend, I'm sure. And it's right on the foreshore looking out over the ocean. So it'll be a lot of fun. So if you are thinking of coming, it could be a fun moment for sure. It's a completely different than 2018 prize giving. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are coming, just look out for the official announcements on that. This is just a bit of an exclusive break for all of those that are still following the tracker and GUGG's arrival. We'll talk about his ETA in a minute. It was good to talk to Abelish yesterday during the walkthrough, which was fun. His boat was certainly down to basics by the time he got back. I was quite sort of like, wow, that's cool. Having to open the inspection port on the water tank and dip in with a cup to get the water out. It's the only way he could get it out because the pumps failed, and hot wiring his batteries and, all sorts of interesting things. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. And we spoke to GUGG late yesterday, about 6:30, 7 o'clock or something yesterday, about his approach. And at that stage, he was concluding something similar to what I was, that he would arrive late this evening, maybe anywhere between 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. And he's really hyper, really active. That conversation is going up on SoundCloud. Jane's going to put that up in the next hour, so you'll be able to listen to that call. But now, overnight, he slowed down a bit, and even worse, the forecast for the breezes, if he had kept going, same course and speed as he's got this morning at 6 o'clock local time, it looks like he'd arrive at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. It's not going to happen. He's not going to slow down, But the weather, the last 20 miles of weather, it's dropping off to about 8 knots or something, and it's swinging around on the nose. So two things: he'll slow down because the wind's really light, and secondly, he may have to start tacking. So that means the earliest is going to be 6 o'clock, but I'm thinking it's going to be more like 8 or 10 o'clock, which is actually a good timing for the media and the people on the wall and everything else that's going to happen. So, so let's wait and see how it goes. I'll update again at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and that'll give us a bit more accurate guess at arrival. It's impossible to get a good ETA when you're dealing with light winds and headwinds and stuff like that. It's sort of not quite as extreme as Kirsten's, but we'll do the best we can so people will be able to follow it. Obviously, Ada and I will be out there, Jane, doing the lives again, and we'll look forward to all that. So in the meantime, back to the tracker. And hopefully you can hear me and see me, which looks like is the case. So we'll talk straight about Jeremy. We spoke to Jeremy, and I think the SoundCloud is going up today. Is Jeremy SoundCloud up? Nope. Jane's in the corner there, really going crazy. But anyway, it's going up this morning as well. We got a lot of things going. In fact, I forgot to mention all of we've been busy this morning with GUGG's team. They've all arrived, the film crew, the sponsors, and so on. We're just doing all the logistics for the tow and so on. So we've been busy. Anyway, but Jeremy's SoundCloud will go up, in the next 20 minutes, an hour as well. And it was good to chat, but boy, he's really frustrated with everything that's going on here right now, but concedes the fact that he's had a good run in the last sort of week. It's been pleasant sailing. Now he's got to earn his miles, and you can see here he's heading out to New York, as I was saying before, and it's going to be very challenging for him to work out which way to go. So at 0800 UTC, he's doing at 1.4 knots. It looks as if there's a bit more breeze than that here by the graphic, but in reality, he's probably getting less than that. So obviously because he's only doing 1.4, did 46 miles in the last 24 hours. And this is going to carry on for a bit because of what we discussed yesterday. You can see, there's nothing there. So if we come back, we can see exactly what's causing all this sort of low in the middle of a high or something like that. This is part of the course. So there's in fact, I'll go back one more. Come on. I'll go back one more, and you see here's the Azores high around the outside here with a great big hole, a big center, and in the middle of it there's a low developed, very low pressure gradients, but that's the contours, so there's not a lot of wind there anyway, but it's really quite cool, having this low in the middle of the big high. So, but unfortunately, Jerry wants to go through the middle, and he can't go anywhere because it's just all mucked up. And if we just walk toggle this through, some people will be watching GUGG here, but pay attention to Jeremy. I'm just giving you the bits you can see. It's very confusing. That low's moved over here, and now it's molding into the high. So it's creating a collision with the winds here. It's all very mixed up and confused. But at that point, it's still going to be headwinds there. So this is midnight tonight. And if we come through here a bit more, this is on the 12th, this is 24 hours from now. He's pretty much got the same, but at least the low in the middle seems to be disappearing. So now you've got the high pressure coming up here and another one quite in there. But anyway, it's still frustrating for him. Forget about what's above him. So that's the third day. He's still got blocking things. He's really cooked for the next 3 days. Going to be very frustrating. By then he might be up here somewhere and starting to get it. But anyway, we'll watch that and see how it develops. He's going to be tailing Charlie now with the only one on the course. We will report on Guy Waits, of course. He's still heading north, heading towards Les Sables d'Olonne, quite a way behind, but that's fine. Just to finish his solo circumnavigation. So what's happening with GUGG? Let's have a look at that. And we'll bring it up. He's still got great sailing. He was really enjoying himself, which you'll hear on the SoundCloud. He said it's been fantastic having nice breezes the last few days, and I suggested he enjoy it because it's probably his last night, but it's not. So you can see here even already the gradients of breeze closing the coast have dropped right off because the wind direction is coming down the coast. So anyway, but he's got a good breeze for now. He's currently doing 5.5 knots. You can't quite see him there, 5.5, and he's done 131 in the last 24 hours. He's been holding at 5.5 for the last 8 hours. And as I said, his distance now from the finish. Well, let's look at the leaderboard and see what that's saying. Distance from the finish for GUGG, 82 miles. So that's about 16 hours if he held the 5.2. So 16 hours is 12, 15, 16, so 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning if he kept up with that speed. While we're here, we'll have a quick look at Jeremy. I was just cheating there. Okay, so Jeremy's got 1,355 nautical miles to go. And it's suggesting an ETA of about the 25th of May, which is probably going to be close to correct still. So that's cool. Let's just see what this is saying about GUGG's ETA for fun. Okay, managing 4.3 knots. It's about 12 o'clock tomorrow. Is that right? No, 12th of May, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. But that's not going to happen, and I'll show you why. It's pretty simple to see. We'll get rid of that, and I'll pick it up one more time. We'll now come down here. Okay, one more. Okay, all right. So you can see the breeze here, nice northwesterly breeze. That's probably about 15 knots. And then as we go every hour closer, if you watch the coast at La Sablone, you can see, oh, jeepers. Okay, it's got bigger already. It wasn't that big this morning. Okay, so that's only probably 4 to 8 knots here. And maybe he's going to be, I'll have to check this on Windy later on, but that's only a couple of hours away. Oh, no, it's disappearing. Yeah, no, it's holding. So he doesn't get into that soft spot before see, this is going through till 10 o'clock, midnight. So midnight, now you can see the calm coming back again. So this is what's happening. So, by the time he's getting up here, it's really light. And that's ultimately this fluky, calm, light winds inshore is what's going to hold him up. And it's going to be hang on to the seat of your pants because it could change any minute. And in fact, if we come back here, this is 6 o'clock in the morning local time. You can see it's now come on the nose as well. So it'll be hard on port tack coming up here. And when you've got light winds forecasts that go to sort of 4 to 8 knots, they can easily change to 8 to 12 knots, and that'll dramatically affect his speed, increase his speed. So while we're saying sort of 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning, there we go. That's at 11 o'clock. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but we'll keep you updated. And as I say, we'll come back at around 4 o'clock this afternoon local time, just to give you a better understanding of what's going on. So that's all we've got to say for now. We'll look forward to seeing him come through, and thanks for following that. That's the last update for GUGG, and we'll still be back every 2 days for Jeremy while he leads in on Chichester class. So we'll look forward to that as well. It'll be fun times very shortly for GUGG. See you soon.